Okay, here on MetalTalk, we're here at the Brixton Academy later tonight. Lemmy got a headlining, and I'm here with the opening act, Jill Janus of Huntress. Hi Jill, how are you?
Just stoked as fuck.
Good. And it's quite a grueling tour. There's like you, there's Decapitated, Lemmy, you're playing all over Europe. So, has there been any highlights for you so far?
Any highlights? Well, you know, we toured with Lamb of God, Killswitch Engage, and Testament in North America right before coming over here. So we already know the boys pretty well and become friends. I would say Newcastle went off. I mean, they know how to party up there. We had a really good time in Newcastle, and just everywhere we go, we can just see our fan base expanding, and UK has just been so good to us, and we've been hearing great things about our album over here that we had no clue it was being so well received, just being in our own little tour bubble in the US, you know. So it's been really quite magical.
And obviously it's always that danger when you're the first band on stage, you know, but have you been packing them in at an early time?
Yeah, the wild thing is the promoters are telling us that you know, we're you know, obviously at a really great bill, but there's a lot of people here to see Huntress early, and we're usually playing around 7:30, so it's at capacity by the time we step on stage. And of course, you know, we always make an effort to meet our fans after every show. So that's part of the fun for us too, is getting to meet all the UK fans that I've been speaking with online for, you know, a good year now.
Fantastic. And like I say, you toured with Lamb of God, and you just mentioned a few bands you toured with before, and you've also toured with like Megadeth and Curator. Who's taught you the most so far?
What was that?
What band has taught you the most?
What band has taught us the most so far?
On the road?
You know, it really began with Dragon Force. They took us on right when we started. We released our debut album, Spelliator, in 2012. And then we were on the road with Pagan Fest in America, and that was before our album even came out. And then Dragon Force just scooped us up. We were on tour with them in the US, and they brought us over here to Europe and the UK in 2012. And I would have to say it began with them, and they're very methodical, and you know, you learn quickly being on tours of this caliber. The first rule is to stay the fuck out of the way. We can do that pretty well, but they're very helpful, and you know, you just there's no room for ego ever. You know, you have to be grateful and be professional and be kind, and it goes a long way.
And you've got this soprano vocal range of 4 octaves, and when you're on this tour, how do you look after your voice?
I live for my voice, and the voice rules me. Fortunately, I have a very good basis in classical training, and that classical training is now the foundation of my screams. I've never once had to cancel a show. I've been close to 300 shows now since we began, and that was just 2 years of touring. Really, it's about proper training. It's about vocal rest, taking good care of yourself, being healthy. I don't go out, I don't drink, I don't do drugs on the road, so you know, I really focus on maintaining that, and it really begins with training and your vocal warm-ups. Every day I do them. I have a great vocal coach. It's Melissa Cross. She's the vocal coach of Randy Blythe and Angela from Arch Enemy, so I think I'm in good hands. Good.
And obviously, as you've proven now, you're quite a talkative person, but do you have to like really save the voice during the day?
I don't speak until I have my first cup of tea.
Okay. And last year, you know, first time I saw Huntress was at the Download Festival. Fantastic performance. You totally blew me away. And, you're playing there next year actually as well, and also playing Grass Pop with Iron Maiden, and also in Austria the Nova Rock Festival with Maiden and Sabbath. Big names of rock. So what does that mean to you as a little girl from America, you know, playing with the big names of rock?
It's been magical. It's been mind-blowing, you know, to see all of this, which I have. I visualized all of this. It's not, you know, it's not anything I didn't see coming. I've expected it. And then you embrace it, and you just be forever grateful, you know, and it could all go away in a moment. So to be placed with bands of that caliber that, you know, are iconic and you've worshipped and you looked up to for many years, it's so dreamlike. It's like it's surreal, you know, but it's really happening, and it's just been such a magical couple of years for Huntress, being such a new band. We're just so blessed.
Right, so you are a new band, but you've got like especially me as an older rocker, I love the sound of Huntress. It's like that power metal of like Accept and Merciful Fate. Were they one of your early influences?
Absolutely. King Diamond is a huge influence on me vocally. The way he uses multiple voices and his range, we have a very similar approach and a similar range and attack. And so Huntress stays rooted in true heavy metal, where it began with Nawabum and 70s proto-metal. That just bleeds through all of our writing, but we're very modern and forward-thinking with influences from death metal and black metal and thrash.
And as a young teenager, what was the first music you listened to? Like, what was the first album you bought?
Suicidal Tendencies, Controlled by Hatred, and that's when I first really knew I wanted to be a heavy metal singer. Before then, from the time I was 10 years old, I was doing musicals and operas, and I heard Suicidal Tendencies, and I said, I want to sing metal, and then that progressed into me discovering other bands like Merciful Fate, and realizing that you know, I wouldn't have to live for anybody else's script. You know, I could write my own and blaze my own trail.
And let's talk about the latest album, Starbound Beast. It came out in the Palm Records last year. There's a track on there called I Want to Fuck You to Death. Nice little nursery rhyme.
Yeah, it's a love song.
Yeah. And was there any discussions to change the title of that? Because obviously it's not a song you can hear on radio.
Well, no, when Lemmy Kilmeister hands you lyrics and says it's called I Want to Fuck You to Death, you write the song around it and you own it. It was a high five from the universe that was written by Lemmy and was given to me, and the fact that he did it and came through, and I just asked him. We've been friends for a couple years, and I was out one night with him for drinks, and I said, would you write me a song for Huntress? He said, sure. So a few weeks later, I meet up with him and he hands me 2 pieces of notebook paper with the lyrics to I Want to Fuck You to Death.
You sure it wasn't just a note he's passing you and realised?
No, he wrote it from my perspective, and I said, what's the inspiration behind this, Lemmy? He says, it's you. The inspiration behind it's you. And he kind of goes into the persona of the Huntress, you know, so it's singing from my perspective, and it's very powerful. I really feel empowered when I sing it on stage, and he has such integrity, and Lemmy's cool because you know, he's one of the very few people that you know, that walks the walk and doesn't just talk the talk. He came through.
Yeah. And obviously when you sing that song on stage, you're an attractive woman, you've got loads of young males in the audience. You get any crazy moments when you sing that song to the fans, because you do look right into their eyes when you sing that. I
choose my tadpoles of the night. I definitely choose the youngest that I can find and sing it just to them. I like young boys.
There you go.
I'm a creep.
And many years ago, you know, it's a bit of a cliche these days, but it was like a male-dominated world, heavy metal, and people say, women in rock, you don't stand a chance. But do you think it's changed now? In many ways, women in rock, you've got a lot of power.
Well, I'm here, and I ain't going nowhere. And I've got a lot of support from my male colleagues. It's great being one of the very few women in metal. I'm surrounded by a bunch of bearded, burly metal men. I love it. Hunks. I love it. And you know, they're so supportive, and especially to be chosen by Lamb of God to go on the road with them, and Danzig, and, you know, chose Huntress to go on tour with them with Doyle this past summer. So we're seeing a lot of support from our colleagues, and it's very, very cool.
Great. And you just talk about Lemmy walks the walk. And how about yourself? Is the Jill Janus on stage the same as the Jill Janus at home?
You know, there's always going to be that line of entertainment and personal life. I'm an entertainer, but what you see is what you get, and that's Huntress at its core, is that we are very authentic. And there's no gimmicks with Huntress. And when you come to a Huntress show, what you can expect is a very raw, in-your-face, real performance. We don't use triggers on the drums, we don't use voice modulators. I didn't even know what the hell that was until this year. Someone asked me if I was using one, and I don't even know what that is. It's just me and my Sennheiser microphone and a really shitty monitor typically. You know, we can't afford a crew, so we just are at the mercy of the front of house guy and the monitor guy that's supplied by the venue. We handle all of our own merch. We load it in, we load it out, and we drive ourselves.
And you should make no secret, like, you're declared witch, white witch. Is there any boundaries into that?
Any boundaries?
Yeah, like with the fans, you know, like fans, young and impressionable. What advice would you give to young fans who may want to study witchcraft?
Well, you know, I'm not here to change the world or teach anyone. You know, you walk your own path, and those that seek the secret site know exactly how to find it.
And let's quickly go back into your past, like 2001, long before Huntress, he was like a DJ, and there was one night he was like in the World Trade Centre working as a night DJ and at the Windows party. Obviously, that was the night before 9/11, and sort of basically 11 hours later, it made a massive impact on your life.
Yeah.
You know, obviously. And how do you turn a negative experience into a positive?
Well, I was working at the World Trade Center for about 3 years. I was the promoter for Monday nights, a party called the Stereo Show. I would DJ and I'd do a cabaret, and I would have dancers come in. And yes, I threw the last party at the World Trade Center on floor 107. I left around 2 a.m. on 9/11. And that did alter my life, and I had to actually move away from New York and move home with my family, and I went into a deep depression. And then some magic happened. I received some opportunities that took me to Los Angeles, and then my life was resculpted. It's almost just part of the plan.
Fantastic. And I've wrap this interview up. What's the plans for the future? What's the goals for Huntress?
We are now writing and recording our third album this year in 2014. We released Spell Eater in 2012, Starbound Beast 2013, and here comes number 3 in 2014. So that's the plan, was to come out of the gate swinging, kicking your teeth down your throat with 3 albums in 3 years.
I think you've certainly done that.
Yeah, well, thank you, and the festivals will just continue to be announced, and it's going to be a busy year for Huntress again.
Thank you. Jill, it's been wonderful talking to you, and all the best for the future.
Thank you, and watch Zenith. Watch
Zenith, yes, fantastic video.
Watch Zenith.
Definitely. And buy the album, Starbound Beast.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All the best.